On March 18th and 19th, 2006, a large audience gathered in the old marketplace in Ouri to attend a mass performance in the village to honor an old friend. I'm seated just beyond the plank mask on the left, in the shade of the market stalls, next to the elders of the village. The chief drummer, a griot or musician from Ulo, is calling each mask to perform in turn. All of the masks from each of the neighborhoods in Ouri parade past the audience to greet the elders and guests. The masks with curved horns represent spirits that are more unruly than other masks. Each of the masks carries a weapon with which it does battle with the evil forces of the underworld. Some carry spears, others carry skull crushers. Over the years, I've tried to document the changes that have taken place in communities I have known over the past 30 years, especially in the area of visual arts. A film I made in 1985 documents the mass performances of the Evo family. This film, 21 years later, documents some of the changes I've seen in context, quality of carving, and mass performance. The Winiama are a small group of people in central Burkina Faso who, along with their neighbors, the Nuna and Layla, are called Gurunsi. The Winiama live north of the road from Ouagadougou to Bobo Dioulasso, just west of the Black Volta River. Major Winiama towns are Sibi, Ulo, Ouri, and Safane. The Winiama speak a language in the Voltaic or Guro family of languages, called Winie. They are farmers and grow millet, sorghum, peanuts, sesame, and cotton. Although there are both a Catholic church and a mosque in Ouri, most of the people are quite happy to sacrifice to the spirits of nature that give life to their world. All of the people of Ouri enjoy attending the spectacular mass performances that are a regular feature of their cultural lives. I first visited the village of Ouri in 1983 when I began to carry out research among the many people who live in central Burkina Faso. My family and I lived in Ouri in 1984 across the street from the Evo family in the Naniabon neighborhood. There are lots and lots of women and children in the audience. Women and children have access to the masks because the masks themselves are not sacred, and because they are owned by families and watch over everyone in the family, young and old, male and female. This in itself is not a change over the past 20 years. You will see each of the masks greet the guests at the performance with a short dance, and then move back to the right of the neem tree at the center. The dancer waits for the rhythm of the drums, and when the drummers have it right, he begins his performance. There is a lot of interaction between drummers and performer. The chief drummer yells instructions to the mask and even drags him into position, while the performer may throw up his arms in frustration because the music is not just right. Each mask has a particular dance that it must do. While there are expectations on the style of dance and on the steps, there is room for creativity on the part of the performer, and skill as a dancer is much appreciated by the audience. You will see throughout the film that an excellent dance by a skilled performer is followed by applause and cries of congratulation. The poor performance by novice dancers are followed by criticism, laughter from the audience, and often by demonstrations by others of the way the dance should be done well. Winiama masks represent spirits from the wilderness around the village which play important roles in people's lives. They protect people from witchcraft and malevolent spirits, provide ample rains for good harvests, and watch over the community and protect it from disease. Because these spirits are abstract and invisible, their images must be invented, and so abstract masks are created to represent them. There are certain gestures or steps the masks specialize in. The bush buffalo and antelope masks always toss their heads wildly up and down to imitate the movements of the animal in the wild. The masks take seats with their backs to the audience and wait until the drummers call them to dance. The masks are carved by the Smiths of the Konate family, who live just across the street from the old market. The masks are carved of the wood of the ceiba tree, and the costumes are made of fibers from cultivated hemp. The costumes are colored with dyes that are imported from Germany and sold widely in markets. Many of the dyes are made by BASF in Germany. The masks with red figures above their faces represent a wilderness spirit that takes special care of women, especially young women in childbirth. The masks you see here are entertainment masks, the types that appear repeatedly throughout the year whenever important events are celebrated. The very few sacred masks of the village are owned by individual male elders, and are kept hidden in their bedrooms, and appear only at the funerals of these old men. This very large monkey has misplaced its whip. One of the musicians throws the whip out of the way so the monkey can't cause trouble. The monkey responds with an obscene thrust of its hips. The small monkey with a brown costume is the oldest mask in Ouri. Among the characters that always appear are the monkeys, which you can recognize by their round faces. Sometimes these masks are worn by younger boys, and their task is to keep the audience back from the performance area. They often act out silly or even ribald skits that are greeted with laughter. It would be a mistake to assume that they are less important than other masks, because just like the famous clowns at Hano Pueblo in Arizona, they are sacred and powerful. You notice that most of the people in the village wear second-hand Western t-shirts, trousers, and other non-African clothing. While this makes the scene a bit less picturesque, the people are much better clothed than they were 20 years ago, when they only had homespun and woven textiles. This is certainly part of the authentic Africa of the 21st century. By far my favorite mask is the large bush buffalo, which I first filmed 21 years ago. It still has a brass bell at its back to warn of its approach. This is an excellent performance. The mask has a set routine, dances in step to the music without losing the beat, and has an effective presence. Part of its act is that it always carries skull crushers that are broken. The bush buffalo is so powerful that it does not need to carry weapons. The masks with curved horns are called Kedon. and are among the most unpredictable and dangerous masks in the community. This one curved horn has the remains of chicken sacrifice at the base of its horn. This most abstract of all the masks in Ouri represents a hippopotamus from the nearby river. It is a replacement for the original, which is in a museum in California. The young performer who wears the hyena mask is inexperienced. His performance is hesitant and offbeat, and he is subject to criticism both from a female spirit mask to the right of the performance area and from the mask's owner. The poor hyena tries again, followed by its owner, who shows how it should be done properly.
Over the past 20 years, there have been some changes in Ouri, and many things remain the same. The town is still small, poor, hot, and dusty. There is still no electricity, there's a shortage of clean water, and inadequate education and health care. Both the church and the mosque were already there in 1983. Masks are still made well and used in creative and effective performances.
I see little change in the quality of the carving, the costumes, or the performances. There are some changes, however. There is an increased tendency to stage public performances rather than restricting performances to religious celebrations. 20 years ago, there was little occasion for masks from Ouri to travel to larger towns to perform for mask festivals. Now they perform at the annual Festival des Masques in Dédégout and the biennial Festival Pan-Africain du Cinéma in Ouagadougou. The people of Ouri have become more inclined to trade culture for basic development. They invite strangers to town to see performances in the hope and expectation that the town will benefit through cash donations and the financing of new wells, perhaps a school, and a dispensary. This has become a new way that the spirits embodied in the masks can provide their blessings to the community. More important than anything else, when I first visited Ouri in 1983, I found a town that was full of hospitable, generous, creative people who expressed their ideas about the spirit world through spectacular mask performances. This has not changed at all. The masks are owned by middle-aged men who have been initiated. The owners choose younger men to wear the masks, either their sons or nephews. You will often see a mask perform, followed by an older man who dances to show how it should be done. This older dancer is the owner of the mask, who wore his own father's mask when he was a younger man. There are both yellow and pink chameleons. These represent change and hidden things, and the chameleon is considered a spiritually dangerous creature throughout Africa. chief drummer points to me and tells the old monkey mask that he should dance right up to me. Finally, late on Sunday afternoon, the masks all return home through the village, and the performance is over.